very much for joining us. My name is Deborah Greaves. I'm a Professor of Civil Engineering at the University of Oxford and the Director for the Supergen Offshore Renewable Energy Hub. And I'd like to welcome you to our annual assembly here in Warwick. And the theme of the assembly this year is about driving growth in offshore renewables through research and innovation. So we've got an exciting, fully packed agenda for you today. I'm very much looking forward to all your contributions. What's the Supergen Offshore Renewable Energy all about? I think this is our 8th annual assembly, so we hopefully you're pretty much aware of what we are all about. We're here to champion offshore renewable energy, to connect up the different actors working in offshore renewable energy, and in particular to create a community for the academics and to help the new generation to be encouraged into the field. So we're all about innovation, research and innovation to accelerate offshore wind, wave energy and tidal stream towards net zero and government targets. We have been going since 2018. We have 10 partner universities in the hub. We have been very lucky to receive £17.5 million investment from EPSRC, UKRI, into ORE Supergen. So within this, we have a wide research community. We're trying to connect up the research with innovation, with commercial and sector success, building the community and supporting our early career researchers. We're funding research, we're carrying out research, we're doing policy work, and working very closely with industry. So we have a couple of headlights from our highlights from our reporting this year. 476 research papers published across the hub, and we contribute to industry and policy. With our investment, we have managed to leverage or secure in additional funding over 137 million, and that's quite a significant leverage on the 17.5 million investment from EPSRC. So now I'd like to go through some updates from our research and activities within the hub. In our latest phase, we've been really bringing in some new initiatives to create further opportunities for strong impact, and in particular trying to connect together the academic community with industry. So our early career network has expanded, first of all just through encouraging a wider set of people to join from across the academic community, but also by inviting early career professionals from industry as well to join the network. So we now have a network which is really helping to create those very important partnerships, relationships and collaborations at an early stage in people's career. And as we know, that sort of carries on throughout the whole of your career and is very valuable. We have appointed impact officers to help us to connect the research to the users and to help to target it. We have more flexibility in how we fund the research, and we're expanding across many of our networking activities, working with other bodies such as MRS and others. We have industry buyout schemes, we have investment in PhD students across the hub and the academic community. And we have shown cost savings and new collaborations for grant success. We have also, in this latest phase, we are running a series of masterclasses. So many of you, your colleagues, may have been involved in these, and we are launching the second round of many of these. So if you have people within your organisation who would like to join a masterclass, then please do have a look. Follow the link on the QR code on the website there and sign up. So we have 10 different masterclasses across the universities involved in the core of the hub, and here are some of the upcoming ones that you can sign up for now. We also have great engagement with our webinar series. So the webinar series carries out online webinars every month. And these are a combination of industry and research talks, and they're all available on YouTube. If you'd like to take part in one, if you have someone who's doing something that you think would be really useful to contribute to the webinar series, please do get in touch. We're really keen to have you involved, and also do sign up and join in. Then, of course, we have our mentoring scheme. This was launched a couple of years ago, and this is a multi-generation scheme. So the idea is that we have senior people, we have mid-career, we have early career, and reaching down to PhD students as well, to connect up people across their career stages and across industry and across academia and policy, to try and help support people at different stages in their career. So if you're interested in doing that, either in providing mentoring or accessing it, again, please do engage. We fund research through our flexible fund scheme and also through our early career researcher scheme. And we have really tried within the way that we're running the hub to be inclusive, to increase the success rate across the diversity of society, and in particular in energy and engineering we tend to have a lack of representation for female researchers. So in some of the processes we've developed, we've shown that we've been able to increase the success and grow the participation of female researchers within our community, which is great. Another way that we do this more generally is through trying to share knowledge about offshore renewable energy, to encourage public to get involved, reaching right down into very early ages. So we have our children's book, Gaia's Energy Adventure. This continues to be going from strength to strength. We've recently shared it online, so there's an ebook now which you can download, and it has been used in schools and in educational settings, both in the UK and Spain and in Wales, of course. Oops. As part of this, as well as the children's book, we do a lot of outreach activities. We go to science festivals and annually to the Greenland Research Festival Science Field. So this is just a short video showing some of the hands-on activities that we run, and the sort of excitement it encourages in young people. It's great to see their engagement with the activities. Okay, so moving on to some of the research that we're funding within the Hub. This is a summary of the Flexible Fund and the Early Career Research funding competitions that we ran this year, showing the investment in 6 Flexible Fund projects and in the Early Career Research projects. So this was the last Flexible Fund round that we're running within this phase of the Hub. And we do expect to have a further round of early career researcher funding, so please do look out for that. And you can see that these research projects go across our research agenda. And again, we're seeing great increases or significant increases in the success and the diversity of applicants. So this summary summarises some of the highlights from the year, as summarised within our annual report this year. And I'm not going to read through all of that, but just leave it up there for a little bit so you can see that. I think what we've seen this year, as well as the ongoing work and the impact that we've been able to generate through the Hub, we've also seen many other changes in the year that have affected offshore renewable energy. So new bodies such as the GB Energy, which has been established and has done further work to further establish itself. We've seen changes in UK ORE and how our area is looked after and considered, and we're going to hear more about that as well from our keynote. And of course, we've got the war, and we've got the impact that's having in terms of global energy crisis, and we don't yet know how that's going to pan out, and also there's probably much more significant impact that's going to come. In the news, there have been various various information on how that might have been seen or how that is affecting offshore renewable energy in particular, delaying the construction of some of the build out of some of the offshore farms. Also, the idea that it might help help the case for clean energy. Clean energy is potentially shielding the world from energy crisis to some degree. But also, I think it's illustrated the importance of diversity across our energy system, and in particular, maybe strengthening the case for wave energy and tidal stream alongside offshore wind. So really the focus needs to be around resilience and how we can help support energy security and resilience through offshore renewables. So the research that we've been doing within the Hub is focused around streamlining processes and policies to help meet capacity targets, help speed up consenting, help reduce costs and reduce risk in offshore renewable energy. It's about upscaling, it's about increasing competitiveness, and it's about resilience, and it's about sustainability. So I'm now going to attempt to give you a brief update from across the core research members of the Hub and the research that's been going on there. So I'm grateful to all of the co-directors who have supplied me with a slide to try and explain through. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I'm probably already getting close to the end of my time, but just to give you a brief update and to remind you that there is far more detail on each of these slides that you can access through the website where we have recorded presentations on the research. So first of all, we are organising our research through 5 different work streams. This one is about policy and scenarios, led by Henry at the University of Edinburgh, and through this we have published through the Supergen the ORE Policymakers Toolkit, and most recently the report, briefing report around supply chain innovation, and Henry will be saying a lot more about that. But these different these policy reports have been very helpful in framing and helping the policy makers to think about how to target support for offshore renewables. Okay, we have our Coventry people arriving as well. So Beth's team up at Aberdeen have been contributing across workstream 1, 2 and 3, looking at compensatory measures, developing a comprehensive sort of set of reviews and recommendations on those for other marine users, fishing in particular, in the offshore environment. Also working closely with the Offshore Renewable Energy Catapult to develop a programme for research to support the programme for regional ecosystem monitoring, and this has been published and is being tested. And then finally in workstream 3, looking at connecting up some of the modelling work that we're doing within workstream 3, modelling of the physics through to the ecosystem modelling to look at the effect on habitats and species using those habitats. In workstream 2, we're looking at data for decision making, sharing the data, putting the data together, and this is led by this work is led by Dave White at Southampton. Here it's looking at geotechnics and how we can use that geotechnical data to better inform the conditions for different sites, but also the design of the structures. So looking at critical sea states, looking at design cases, not just for individual systems, but across the farm, how that can be targeted and optimised, looking through the lifetime. And there's much more detail of this will be presented later on, and also through the posters, and as I say, in the recorded presentation. The tidal turbine benchmarking project led by Richard and at Oxford. This is in the modelling stream. It's really a community activity we have some very well defined experiments that have been run with a large turbine and encouraging the community to take part in modelling the results and then doing a comparison piece of work. So to understand better the uncertainties around different models, leading to improved models. And that's open to anyone to participate, so do follow the link if you're interested in getting involved in that. Also on the modelling side, looking at new wind farm parameterization models, improving wolf predictions in applying those into the atmospheric flow models. And this work has shown improvements from the standard approaches. It's also been applied not just to individual farms, but also to look at the farm-to-farm interaction, the interaction between rates of different farms, and with different atmospheric conditions as well. And it's showing some very detailed results and interesting results on being able to implement the levels of turbulence into the farm so we can get a further, thanks Rosie, further benefit in terms of the power production predictions, but also the loading on the blades and the fatigue design. Okay, moving on to the design work package. This is some work we've been doing at Plymouth and at Oxford. Here we're looking at how we can reduce costs and get further certainty in the extreme loads affecting floating structures, in particular floating offshore wind turbines and wave energy devices. And we have run a series of campaigns numerically and experiments in order to try and advance that. And we've shown some great speed up in how we can run the designs and working on implementing that within design standards and recommended practice. At Warwick, the work is led by Zhao Wei, and here looking at using AI-informed modelling in order to simulate atmospheric wake interactions for different farms with your control, and looking at the comparisons with wolf predictions and also with satellite imagery. Pile foundation design here, this is also led from Oxford by Byron, and here we've seen some development of new models, new modelling approaches for pile design, both for jacket structures and monopiles, and comparing those with very large-scale experiment or field trial data, and implementing those into design standards. Again, the cable testing here, this is led by Phil at University of Exeter in Penryn, and again working towards implementing new knowledge into design standards, in this case for dynamic cables. Future concepts, so workstream 5, led from Strathclyde by Fergal, and the update from this work stream at the moment is looking at co-location of wind and wave. So again, the benefits of a diversity in the supply or the production of offshore renewables from a particular site gives great benefits in terms of reusing the infrastructure, but also in terms of reducing the need for oversupply and for the cost of storage potentially by having a more diverse and consistent supply. And then from Hull, Jim is leading this work, also looking at how we can implement into future concepts, but really looking at the use of fibre optic monitoring, and this is demonstrated here for static cables, dynamic cables, and then also as part of the resin infusion process for manufacturing blades, and how we can use fibre optics to actually sense and to monitor the quality of those builds. Right, so sorry if I haven't done justice to those, but again, as I would say, please do look for more detail on the website. But thank you all for those updates, and we also have posters on display for you to find. find out more, and the researchers will be there to get into more detail. I want to give a couple of other updates before I finish, so I will go very quickly through this. We have a proposal, as many of you will be aware, that we've been working on for a number of years, which we're calling ACTA. It's an at-sea capability testing for offshore renewables. It's all about testing or breaking down the subsystems and the components of an offshore wind or offshore renewable energy system of one sort or another, and being able to test those quickly in an accessible way. This is work that has been done in collaboration with the ORE Catapult, with Plymouth Marine Laboratory, University of Plymouth and Oxford, but across the Supergen community we've been talking about this for a while. So the idea is to be able to test and prove innovations at low cost. It's a platform, doesn't include the tower and the turbine. It's a platform located offshore, about 6 miles offshore in Plymouth Sound, which is an area which is equipped with sensing and high-speed communications. We'll be able to run experiments on that platform and also connect it virtually through a virtual system of digital twin and simulation environment. The idea is that it sits within the ORE innovation pathway, between what we can do in laboratory scale in our laboratories and at lower cost, and what we can do at very high cost in demonstrating full systems offshore. So inside, within the gap there, we have ACTA for testing those components and subsystems in a more accessible environment through a virtual twin, so we can actually relate the experiments directly to real data from offshore, and then that will help us to de-risk more quickly. And it addresses technology developments, autonomous sensing type developments, and data collection and environmental interaction as well, both across fundamental research and through to commercial innovation testing. An update on that, it is with the committee within UKRI, and we are hoping to hear within the next few months whether or not it's been successful. We've had some reasonably positive results so far, or indications so far, but we're waiting to hear. Hopefully we'll be able to give you some more news on that within the year. Okay, a couple of other updates. So we have updated the Wave Energy Roadmap. This was first produced in 2020. There are some hard copies of this that you're very welcome to take from the stand at the registration desk. And work that's ongoing at the moment. So we published our 2040 outlook back in end of 24, I think. This really set the scene for what's needed, whether on track for the targets of clean power and 2040 and 2050 net zero, using 2040 as a framing. And we estimated through that work that we actually need to increase the capacity by 7 times by 2040 from where we are at the moment. We need to speed up the developments of offshore installations by 4 times. This is really where the consenting and other things come in. And we also need to have 6 times the workforce. So we need the people, we need the skills, we need the innovation to support the targets and the development work. And that's what we're all here for and we're all engaged in. So through the academic community, the research, the underpinning research, and the skills and the people. So we've been taking that work and working towards developing a new report or a new strategy, the Strategic Research Accelerator. We have, throughout the year, we've been doing extensive consultations. Many of you would have been involved in those workshops at various events, and working together across disciplines and across industry, policy, and different groups. And so we're working to develop our Strategic Research Accelerator. This is helping to sort of refine the research challenges, the research themes that we want to focus on for the next 5 years, and demonstrating how the underpinning research is really important to feed into the innovation and then lead to success for the offshore renewable energy sector. This is across offshore wind, wave and tidal stream. Within the accelerator, we have framed things around these 4 key themes: next generation technologies and subsystems, industrialized foundations and substructures, future electrical cables and systems, and next generation processes and services. And there are a whole host of challenges within those themes, and then more detail within those challenges. And we're very happy to share more detail of that with anyone who'd like to get more involved. But this really just sort of feeds us into the panel discussion we're going to have shortly. So thank you very much for your time, and that was a fairly brief run through, but hopefully that gives you a flavour of what we've been up to this year.